Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. And today we're getting into a topic not too far off from a previous video that we had just did talking about it's more so like society and the effects of society in terms of just control of, I want to say higher powers for lack of a better word, higher powers in terms of the way that it's affecting society. And how I was having a conversation with a few people recently, and kind of an analogy came up within this topic, and I just kind of really wanted to be able to say that, bring this analogy to the channel because I thought it was very interesting, and how right now we have a climate of society. A lot of people may or may not believe that, higher powers, whether it's society, media, government, are pushing certain agendas to affect the way certain people think, to affect and destroy family living, family household, which ultimately affects a better, healthier life, being more goal orientated because, obviously if you do not have a reason to push forward, for most people, that reason is family, then they don't aspire to do all the other things that they would like to do. And obviously, you guys know on the channel, we're trying to push positivity and the ultimate goal of, everyone having a better life. So back on topic, that the discussion was that how society has been putting this illusion, or media, whatever you want to call it, society will call it for lack of a better word, an inflated value for women lately in society. And this is not a knock on anything or women or anything of that sort, but just the inflated value, or at least in larger cities. I don't know if this is happening in other places, and comparing that to almost like a casino, where a casino never loses. So if someone was to inflate your value in a casino, and they say, well, you enter the casino, and actually a lot of casinos actually do this too. They'll sometimes give you a $10, $20 voucher for extra money just for coming into the place. Now that's free money, but they give you that as long as you come into the place and you play the game. And essentially, if someone was to say to you, I'm going to give you, for your $1, I'm going to give you $3, as long as you come and play the game. So now you cash in $10, you get $30. It's free money. But that inflated sense of value, now you go and you start playing, you lose all your money. Now, even though the casino gave you, at that $30, they gave you $20. Their intention was to get your $10, and they got your $10. You may not feel like, you may have felt like the odds were going to be better because you had more money. But at the end of the day, the odds are always in favor of the house, in favor of the casino. And so the point of this analogy that came up was about how the realm of the hookup culture, the party culture, that kind of lifestyle of keeping people out there, away from creating family dynamic, away from a more settled life, so people can go into a building phase of their life. And I spoke about this previously in the channel, a couple of episodes back, or whatever the case is, many episodes back, I don't know when. But as far as the idea of building and when people want to start building, and how a lot of times that goes hand in hand with people starting families and whatnot, I mentioned it many times on the channel before, and how the idea of what society is doing right now is trying to almost like treat that dynamic as like a casino, with the hookup culture life, the whole, 30s the new 20, 40s the new 30, which it's not. And essentially having people stay playing the game longer by inflating a lot of people's value, essentially more so inflating the value of women, perceived value. And the reason why I say that is because men will play the game to chase women, which is the reason why you have, if anyone's familiar, in large cities that have a nightlife, you'll have where it will say like women, for example, can enter the club for free, the lounge for free, or whatever the case is, or half price on drinks for ladies' nights, because they know the men will follow. Men will always follow where women go. That's just the dynamic of nature of things. There's really no way to get around it. Anyone who says differently is wrong. Men will always follow to the tune of women. That's just how it is. Society knows this. So by inflating the value of the woman, and I don't mean to say inflating the value of the women that they don't have value, but in the sense that making them feel that it's worth playing this game, the hookup game, from one to the next, because you can always keep chasing something better. It keeps that game going. And the game is almost like I said, analogy to the casino. Keep playing. We don't want you or anyone else, the men included who are trying to chase you, to settle down. Because the more you keep playing the game, the more society remains in the state of you're chasing, you're out in the nightlife, 35 years old, you do not have a family, you do not have kids, you're not building goals, you're not saving money, you're not aspiring. And so you keep being out there in the world, going from one thing to the next, chasing the trends, spending more money because you don't have a family for a reason to be saving money, budgeting your money. So if you're a single person who's just in that hookup culture, dating life, going back and forth, you're spending money. And so it creates this dynamic where, quote unquote, the casino or the house is always winning because you're constantly giving back to this machine. So I thought that the concept of that analogy was interesting. I came up with it in the discussion that we were having with a group of people, but it made me really want to hone in on the fact of that society realizes that, like a casino, it's winning. Even when you might think you're winning by playing the game, when they inflate your self-value, like I said, especially with women, inflating the value so you won't settle down with, not settle, like settle for, but settle down with. I want to be clear on that because I hate that concept of someone saying I'm settling for somebody when it's like a lot of times it's not even the case. But settle down with somebody. When you don't do that, and that's what they don't want you to do, essentially, it leaves you stuck at the casino. And for anyone who's ever seen someone at the casino who's there to the point where they drain their money and they can't even get home, that's essentially what's happening. You creating a life, you creating a family life is you making your way back home from the casino. You being stuck at the casino is the equivalent of you not creating a family life, you not creating a home, a structure for you to build together, this and that. You're stuck at the casino. And that's essentially what society is pushing for. Just thought it was a cool idea to share with you guys, the analogy. Let me know what you guys think down below. Post your comments. As always, you guys always be safe. Take care. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.